Well, welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Audi showing off their brand new A7 in the past several days. And this vehicle is all new, although it does look quite a bit like the old machine. You can definitely see the difference in the nose and the tail section. It's just a touch on the wider side, a little bit lower, and has a shorter wheelbase altogether. And they're claiming that no panels are actually shared between these two vehicles. Now, the power comes from a newer setup. This is a mild hybrid, 48-volt mild hybrid setup that includes the aforementioned mild hybrid, 48-volt, which is an MH EV hybrid system, along with a TFSI 3-liter turbocharged V6. Altogether, the vehicle makes 340 horsepower and 368 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in just 5.3 seconds with a top speed that's electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. The interior is really where this vehicle shines, as it gets all new interior front to back with a 10.1-inch infotainment touchscreen, along with a lower screen that's 8.6 inches in size, along with a brand new, what they're calling the virtual cockpit, which is the new instrument cluster, which is actually 12.3 inches inside as well. Now, this particular vehicle does have another little trick up its sleeve. It's got a self-parking feature. Now, it's not one of those autonomous features that you've seen in other machines where the car just actually goes and finds a spot. You're actually going to operate this vehicle kind of like a remote control car using an application for your smartphone. This is a pretty interesting little idea as well. This vehicle will be going on sale in Germany in February with a starting price of just under 70,000 euros. Next up on the list, Hennessey Group is teasing the brand new Venom, the replacement for the Venom GT, known as the Venom F5. Now, we've talked about this particular machine in the past, but this is one of the first really good teaser shots we have of this machine, other than a lot of concept art. But the real kicker of this particular deal, and again, if you don't know who Hennessey is, Hennessey does some of the best tuning of all automobiles on the planet. You've probably heard of a lot of Hennessey Vipers that were really big at one time. Now they do basically tuning group for every kind of car that's on this planet. If you want to throw a whole lot of horsepower, take your car down to Hennessey down in Texas. But here's the trick when it comes to the brand new Venom F5. This particular picture then shows off in the next photograph of something that's hinting that they're thinking this car is going to be able to achieve for the first time ever in a production or small production run of a vehicle, 300 miles an hour. Now, the last Venom GT come with a twin turbocharged LS7 7-liter General Motors Source V8 that made well over 1,000 horsepower. We'll have to wait and see what the propulsion is for this particular machine is going to be. I'm assuming it's probably going to be quite a bit the same, but maybe with a lot larger turbos, probably making well closer to 1,500 horsepower. But again, these are all things we'll have to wait and see on. Next up on the list, in Volkswagen's ever-increasing attempt to try to get away from the whole diesel scandal situation, especially embracing their new EV lifestyle that they're going into, they're showing off this particular machine, which looks deadly serious. This is going to be a brand new machine that they're going to try to take on the EV record up the Pikes Peak Hill Climb run in 2018. Again, this thing looks super serious. Cannot wait to get to see this vehicle once it is finished. Hopefully we get to see it maybe one of the auto shows. Maybe at SEMA this year. We'll have to wait and see on those fronts. But it's a pretty cool piece of kit, at least if you ask me. Next up on the list, Polestar is in the news for a brand new machine. Now, if you don't know who Polestar is, you are excused. Polestar is basically the performance arm of Volvo. But they're kind of going off on their own to build their own machine, and that's where the Polestar 1 GT comes in. There's a lot of outlets that are screaming this is basically a concept version for Volvo that came out about 4 or 5 years ago. Polestar is counteracting that with claiming that this vehicle is actually narrower and shorter in overall length than that particular machine is, but you can pretty much say that about anything. Now, this particular machine is pretty serious indeed, as it is a plug-in hybrid vehicle, which would be the first time Polestar actually comes up with their own car, talking about maybe building a sedan version and a full EV SUV off the same platform. Again, those are vehicles that could come down the line, but let's stick with the Polestar 1 GT. This vehicle comes with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder unit that actually propels the front wheels. It's got twin electric engines out back that propels the rear wheels, making the vehicle all-wheel drive. Altogether, this vehicle makes 600 horsepower and 738 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty serious power, especially for a car that looks so unassuming and so kind of, I don't know, under the radar, if you will. Now, the vehicle is going to have a full EV range inside of this deal thanks to a 194 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery. They're claiming in strict EV mode, this vehicle can achieve 150 kilometers or 93 miles on pure EV. Now, they're talking about building only 500 of these units for the world, and they're building it in a brand new plant that's being put together as we speak in China. But Polestar says that they're not going to keep it at just 500. If the world wants more of them, they'll build as many as actually needs to be built. So it'll be pretty exciting to get to see a final version of this machine, hopefully very soon. And definitely going to get to see some of the performance numbers this vehicle's going to be able to lay down. And last up on the list, a little tip of the hat to Australia. Australia for 90 years has built vehicles inside of their country, and that is now no more. The big three that was in Australia was Ford, General Motors, aka Holden, and Toyota were actually building automobiles. But it's just a sign of the times where economically it didn't make actual financial sense to build cars inside of Australia anymore. Australia is a weird part of the world because Australia is very, very large. In fact, it's roughly the size of the United States, but population-wise, it's only got 2 states inside of the United States as far as population is concerned, which meant selling automobiles inside of the country wasn't a big deal, and then also actually exporting them outside of the country become more and more expensive as the years went on. So sadly, after 90 years, there is no more actual manufacturing done in Australia. Doesn't mean that they're outside of the car world. There's still a lot of design work and engineering work that will continue on inside of the country of Australia. But I have to say, 90 years of building some of the coolest, especially if you're a hot rodder on the planet. Gosh, during that doggone Maloo and the Thunder Ute, holy smokes, those things were fantastic. So hoping those were going to come stateside, but looks like that will never be. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time to get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.